Welcome to the Game Day Gauntlet, where action hits you in the mouth and the excitement never ceases to amaze. You know the drill. 5 games in 3 hours from action around your league, with game-winning father-son moments like this. For a potential win! Oh, God, in the back! Today, we begin in Minnesota, where those same chippers welcome LA. Buckle up and grab your popcorn. The UFL and the Virtual Football Network proudly presents the Game Day Gauntlet. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to VFN Studios. Week 9 Game Day Gauntlet time. LA and Minnesota kicking off in 5, 4, 3, 2. You'll see plenty of me later. Let's get going. Minnesota and Los Angeles. The Aztecs trying to shake off an embarrassing loss in Dallas. Minnesota coming off a thrilling win that you just saw in the Gauntlet intro. Doug Falk to Tyler Falk in the final 30 seconds to beat Salt Lake. Back where the action ended on the Gauntlet last week here in Minnesota. The Aztecs and the Chippers coming up next. There's Doug Falk trotting out there to about midfield. The rest of his teammates eventually. Minnesota this season, they are 3-5 in a Western Conference that doesn't seem to know exactly who's going to challenge the Dakota Rhinos. Dakota winners of 4 straight, but Austin's lost 3 in a row. LA's lost 2 in a row. And Salt Lake, the only team at 500 or better, lost last week to Minnesota. Minnesota and San Diego, along with Phoenix, in a 3-way tie for 5th in the West. And we are underway in the UFL in week number 9. The quarterback for Los Angeles is Ronnie Shanahan. His struggles are well known. 5 interceptions, but only 9 touchdowns. 285 yards a game, 9th in the league. They start off with a carry to Victor Washington. LA really had a lot of problems last week against Dallas on both sides of the ball. But the offense was the point of emphasis and point of contention this week as they try to get Scorch Henderson, McKay Breeze, Lars Bazar going deeper down the field. Too many checkdowns last week, too conservative offensively as they trot into Minnesota today. They'll start off with back-to-back runs. That's Washington again, picking up 2 more. So a 3rd down and 5 coming up for Los Angeles. They're trying to stay ahead of the sticks today. Frank Castle of Minnesota, along with Joseph Alexis, anchors that much improved defensive front. Randy Tremaine, Brennan Allen, still the 2 best unclaimed linebackers for my money out there. And it's 3rd down and 5 at the 30 coming up for LA. Happy Gauntlet Day. Rabbit Raccoon, Mike Coco, what's up, Demond? Great article written by Antonio Flash earlier this week as Shanahan's pass is caught on the sideline, but the receiver runs a poor route, runs it out of bounds. That's Henderson. Quick 3-and-out for LA. If you didn't catch Flash's article, I am a former journalist, a former newspaper writer, award-winning feature writer, if I do say so myself. And when I don't have to make any edits to an article that's submitted by someone else, that's a good writer, and Flash did an excellent job this week. Read through it all. It was a good time, and he got 2,000 points boosted to his player for his efforts, and did a really great job. So Doug Falk will come out there for Minnesota to start things off for the Chippers offense after the defense forces a 3-and-out. A quick throw to Tyler Falk to start things off. That's going to go for a loss of a yard there. Tackle made by Rogers on the outside for Los Angeles, one of their star corners. Mark Rogers, along with a very talented secondary of Mike Denali, Rain Rie, and Naisha Ingram. Sure thing, Damon. We'd love that. Send me your thoughts and ideas. 2nd down and 11 at the 15-yard line. Doug Falk going to send Dalton Brown in motion. He just stops off in the flat, and that's where Falk's going to go with the football, but it's a loss of 3 yards. So Doug Falk is 2 for 2 for minus 3 yards here to start the game. Kind of a bizarre totaling of yardage there. Marquez Williams, the second corner, on the tackle. Chippers versus Dippers, rather harsh. Hey, LA is still third in the Great West Conference. Dakota and Chicago is your next kickoff. We mentioned Dakota at the top of the West. They are tied with New York at the top of the East. That pass from Falk is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Naisha Ingram stepping in front of it, so neither offense off to a particularly good start today. Minnesota will punt the football. Bingo today, you've got 9 different ways to win. 4 corners under N. Kite with a tail, a diamond, any 2 postage stamps. Although for the purposes of that image, it needs to be in the upper left and lower right. As we said, Crazy T, 6-pack in that left-hand corner. The X that marks the spot, the little jackpot, and the block of 9. Again, those bingo winnings have to be in the specific spots. They are listed in the photo. Yes, health is better. Had a great week. You know, I don't necessarily feel 100%. Still a little fatigued from both leagues being in season for a couple of months. But all in all, we are in good shape as Ronnie Shanahan connects over the middle for a 7-yard gain. Javon Muhammad on the catch. 9 different ways to miss, says Coco. We hope not. Hope for a lot of great bingos out there as we round the second half of the season. Ronnie Shanahan on a 2nd down and 3. Throws a little out route. McKay Breeze. That's caught at the Minnesota 39-yard line. Shanahan back-to-back completions. Yeah, Clutch, but I don't produce the SFLM, so that's not too big of a burden. Ellie Diomas and Alex West and her crew do a great job with that as that ball is knocked away. Intended for Breeze and defended well downfield by Minnesota's secondary. That's Tyson Anderson unclaimed with the deflection. 2nd and 10 for LA, but that's 3 straight passes for, well, I should say 4 straight passes for the Lycans that have gone downfield. Push the ball downfield as Washington gets another carry. He'll be dropped forward, picking up 2. 3 early carries for Victor Washington, who splits carries and time with Al Ingram. 3rd down, 7 yards to go for LA at the 37-yard line of Minnesota. Just on the outskirts of scoring range. Shanahan with a pump fake. Blitz is picked up. Shanahan, clean pocket, fires down the field and is off target. That will stall the drive for LA, and a 54-yard field goal is potentially coming up for the Aztecs. Hashtag damn tough is Minnesota's slogan, and they have been damn tough to beat over the last few weeks. They're 2-1 in their last 3 games. This punt is going to drop at the 1-yard line. That is a sinker from McCabe. Their only loss in that stretch of 3 games was 29-21 to Vegas. They led that game 21-7 at the half. First and 10 at the 1-yard line. Doug Falk under center. He'll hand it off to Rob Noel, and Noel will pick up 5. Noel been running a little bit better as of late, but Minnesota still, all in all, does not run the ball particularly well. He averages 42 yards a game, does have 5 touchdowns, 19th in the league in rushing. Your leaders coming into the league: I just saw that my app is trying to restart. Please don't. please don't. We don't need that. We've had a gauntlet filled with storms and sickness and all sorts of things. That's Tyler Falk down the field, 34-yard completion, and there is your first positive play from the Minnesota offense today, up to the 40-yard line. DJ asks if I want to play a different position, but LA doesn't have one. Well, I have to go to another team with an unclaimed player of the position. I guess shoot me a DM, DJ, and we'll talk about it. It just depends. Depends on when, depends on who, etc., etc. As Rob Noel picks up 2 yards, and we'll meet that very talented Los Angeles defense that really struggled last week against Dallas, led by Cameron Curse. DJ Woods there at linebacker in the center of the LA defense, and then it's Naisha Ingram, Mike Denali, the corner, Mark Rogers, and Naisha Ingram as well at safety. 2nd down and 7 at the 42-yard line for Doug Falk and the Chippers. Make the handoff to Rob. He stays in the block. No problems there. A little check down to the outside. That's Michael Joseph's first catch, picking up 2. 3rd and 5 coming up at the 45-yard line. 5.5 to go in the opening quarter. Chicago and Dakota kicking off in about 9 minutes. Falk dropping the throw. Falk will fire. It is intended for Tyler Falk, and it is swatted away. Mark Rogers, another deflection. That stalls the Minnesota drive, and the Chippers will have to punt. So look at DJ Woods out there in coverage. This one a little bit high for Mr. Falk. Rogers knocks it away. Payne Price cheering for the Chicago Dragons, wanting to see Dakota fall atop the West. Over in the East, it's New York 7-1, St. Louis 6-2. They battled today in St. Louis, one of the toughest places to play at the end of the game day gauntlet as that kick goes out of the end zone. Following St. Louis, Dallas is 5-3, and then Miami, Chicago, and Wichita are 4-4. The longest winning streak in the league is Dakota, winners of 4 straight. St. Louis has won 3 straight. The longest losing streaks in the league are Austin and New Orleans, and they both meet each other in coast to coast tonight. That is a very important game for both of those teams, trying to end their losing streaks. Colin Northrup and John Warren on the call of that one. I will be on the call with Ramos Lynn for Dallas and Salt Lake later tonight. Washington on the carry. Not much there. And it sets up 3rd down and 9 for Los Angeles. Five runs, 5 passes to start for LA. 3rd down and 9 at the 21. Man in motion is Henderson. This is Shanahan deep. It is caught by Bazar at the 45-yard line for an LA first down, a 24-yard pickup. Another deep shot from Los Angeles as Shanahan connects. It was the strong safety Dylan Lilich in coverage.
Here we go. 70 Indy.
3:20 to go in the first quarter. Another scoreless quarter to start the gauntlet. Washington is cut down again. Last week we had our first scoreless opening quarter on the gauntlet of the season between Phoenix and St. Louis. And we are still awaiting our first points here today in Minnesota. 2nd down and 9. This is Shanahan dumping that into the flat. Al Ingram with the reception. 4 of 7 for 45 yards for Shanahan so far. 3rd down and 8 coming up at the 47-yard line. Virgil on the stop. 40 of you watching Game Day Gauntlet here in the opening stanza. We appreciate your interest and your viewership today. Shanahan drops that one over the middle to Bizarre, and he actually dropped it. That was going to be near a first down. I was ripped out of the hands of Bizarre. Nicely done on the back end of that play. That's Tremaine getting the pause in there. Tremaine and Allen have been dominating this league for 2 seasons now. Allen is 5th in the league in total tackles with 79. I'm actually shocked that Tremaine is not in the top 25. Theodore Blackman of Austin is still your league leader in tackles with 90. Harper Dew of Wichita, 88. E.K. Vinson, 84 out of Rochester. Tyler Pryor, unclaimed, 82 for Phoenix. DJ Woods is 6th in the league in tackles for Los Angeles with 9.7 per game. Second down and 11 as Walker makes the stop behind the line. LA punted and pinned Minnesota for the second time this game inside their own 15-yard line.
Here we go, set, 50,
55 yards for LA, 39 for Minnesota. Here to start this one. Second down and 11. Chicago Dakota kicks off in 4 minutes as that ball is caught over the middle by Rowland. Check that. Isaiah Moody with the catch. 9-yard pickup, third down and 2.
set, 60 or.
3 runs, 7 passes to start for Minnesota. Can they pick up this first down and keep the drive alive? Handoff. Noel running left. He got it. Stumbling forward. Almost pinning the ball on the ground there to maintain balance. First down, Minnesota at the 23.
Let's go, 60 Pittsburgh.
High formation here for Minnesota.
And get ready.
Play fake, Doug Falk. Clean pocket down the field, and that one is knocked away. Los Angeles' defense certainly enjoying a bounce back today. That's Randy Coleman swatting it down.
Break.
Second down, Minnesota. It's been 4 weeks since they went to this 2 tight end dominant offense as that pass is caught. That's Moody with his second catch. Falk now 6 of 9, 59 yards. And that'll bring us to the end of our second scoreless first quarter here on the Game Day Gauntlet this season. Back-to-back weeks. As Moody's been getting going early here for Minnesota. And in the first quarter, well, Robert, you know how this goes, especially being in St. Louis. Plenty of starters out there. That's kind of part of the problem. These defenses around the league have definitely improved as Falk's pass is bottled up. Oh, my goodness, it's knocked around. Bottled and bopped around, whatever I was trying to say, and intercepted by Mike Denali up to the 36-yard line of Minnesota. A bouncing ball for the Aztecs results in an interception. That hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different players. In fact, it hit Marquez Williams twice, once in the head and the other in the hands, before Denali's able to scoop that football up. A Boinger falls into the hands of the Los Angeles Aztecs, who forced the turnover.
Let's go now, 18 Gator.
And now it's first down and 10 of the Minnesota 36. This is the closest we've gotten to anybody scoring. Play fake from Shanahan, and he throws a pick right back. A jump ball in the end zone, won by Marcus Ayodele. And Minnesota gets their best starting field position of the day at their own 20-yard line. That's a one-on-one ball, just slightly overthrown, looking for Scorch Henderson in the end zone. And what a grab from Ayodele. That was tremendous. If you like defense, Minnesota and Los Angeles, the game for you so far today. So Doug Falk will try again. This time floats it with a little bit of yak yards for Michael Joseph. Picking up 5. Welcome to Sioux Falls, where the Dakota Rhinos will take on the Chicago Dragons in the second game of the Game Day Gauntlet. Chicago has been hot. They are on a one-game winning streak. However, they have won 2 of their last 3 games. Dakota is also hot, the largest winning streak in the league at 4 straight. In fact, Chicago's won 3 of their last 4 games, all by 1 score. San Diego, Vegas, and last week most impressively against the previously unbeaten New York Lightning. Can Chicago do it again in Sioux Falls as Billy Flagg says, "I'm here," to the fans of the defending champs? So first down and 10 coming up for Minnesota. Falk is across the 50 to the LA 45. Back-to-back interceptions in that game. Falk now 10 of 14. It looks like Dakota's going to get the football first. Dakota in their dark blues and grays today. Chicago in the whites and light blue pants. Yeah, I like the shirt too.
Here we go.
Where's our points? Let's see if Dakota can deliver. Billy Flagg will start out of the shotgun. Flagg will fire. That pass is off the hands of Tony Horn Jr. to start, and it'll be second down and 10. Let's go to third down and 8 for Doug Falk, trying to keep the drive alive. He will, down to the LA 34-yard line. Pass hauled in by Moody for the 3rd time today. Why do I feel like at Ben Loves Maulers is someone that lost a bet? As that picks up 5 yards on a Billy Flagg scramble.
Down. 18 Gator. He don't know no better.
First and 10 at the LA 34. Hand off to Rob Noel. He'll get a yard. 9 yards on 6 carries so far. Third down and 5 for Dakota as the Rhinos look to move the chains. This is Billy Flagg on the keeper. Flagg's got a first down and a whole lot more down the Chicago sideline to the 46, and Musis gets a sack for Los Angeles and drives Minnesota out of field goal range back at the 43-yard line. Yeah, Peter, we don't typically give out bonus numbers here on the Gauntlet because we don't need to, but holy smokes, where's our points? First and 10 at the Chicago 46. Billy Flagg is going to be sacked. A loss of 8 yards on the play from 146 to the other. And that pass for Doug Falk is well short of the first down, but it will get Minnesota into potential field goal range here from 51 yards away. Minnesota tries to put our first points up on the board. Well, no, it'd be impossible to have a scoreless game because somebody's got to win. But no, we've never had a scoreless game at the end of regulation, I guess you could say. Well, here we go. Minnesota's got a chance to end it here. 51-yard field goal for Minnesota to give us our first points of the day. That kick is up, and it is good. Minnesota is on the board. Over 50-3 are your first numbers of today. Which I think might have been our first numbers last week. Dakota's in Chicago territory. Billy Flagg going to take off and run. Chicago's ready for him on 3rd down and 4. 44 yards on 4 carries on the opening drive for Flagg. He's going to be 1 yard short. It'd be a 53-yard field goal from here for Dakota. We'll see what they do. No ties in the UFL. No, I've never heard of a tie in any sense of the word.
We play to win. Let's go.
Explains the self-employment. 4th and 1, Billy Flagg down the field. That pass is complete to the Chicago 23-yard line. A gutsy call there from Dakota on the opening drive, but they deliver and move the sticks. 6:36 to go in the first half. The handoff again for LA is bottled up in the backfield. They have had no running room whatsoever. 2nd and 12. Liam Seitz was trying to get away. That's the second really nice play. A sack and a TFL made by Marshall Crawford, the defensive tackle for Chicago, unclaimed. As Shanahan drops to throw, that pass is complete. He's got it to the 39, and that erases the 2nd and long. 2nd and 11, Billy Flagg trying to erase that as he pushes forward to the 17-yard line, averaging 10 yards a carry on the opening drive. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Dakota, and LA is called for a false start. 3rd down and 5 at the Chicago 17-yard line. That's Flagg throwing an interception at the 8. Dakota comes away with nothing. Pass intercepted by Garrett Ramsey, unclaimed. He buttons up the sport jacket as Billy Flagg just throws an ill-advised pass. That is his 7th interception of the season to go along with 13 touchdowns, and Chicago gets the stop. Chaos Angel. I haven't heard that term yet. Racking up the nicknames. That ball is low from Shanahan. It'll pick up 2nd down and 10. 4:24 to go in the first half. Here goes Chicago on their opening offensive possession, picking up 12 yards to Jason Williams right up the gut on Dakota. And that is most interesting because Dakota, number 1 in the league in total defense at 307.6 yards per game allowed. They have the 4th best run defense, giving up just 98.4 yards a game. Good start for Jason Williams.
Come on, set.
18. Rob, they need to be in the exact spots as provided in the images. In parentheses on my posts, I said they must be exact to the picture. You got it. 2nd down and 8. Collins full of compliments. We've got Wichita, Miami kicking off in about 11 minutes. A pair of 4-4 teams in the East. How about Jason Williams? Good patience and excellent comeback, cutback. Can't talk today. 16-yard pickup for Williams. Chicago has a first down. Los Angeles' drive stalls in Minnesota territory, and they got to punt it away. 3:11 to go in the first half there. It is 3-0 Minnesota. We still don't have a touchdown on the board, folks. 5.5 to go in the first. And a handoff, loses 4 yards. The 43-yard line, 5:20 to go in the first. It's a fister in the backfield, making that play on Williams for the TFL, the Menachem variety. 2nd down and 2. Rob Noel has been a chain mover today so far for Minnesota. Jenkins makes the tackle. 2nd down and 14. Hand off to Williams. Williams, not a lot of room on the outside. Got a yard. Suki Padre on the stop, so 3rd down and 12 coming up for Chicago. Here's Doug Falk firing. There's a penalty marker. Minnesota gets to midfield, but it's coming back, holding on Minnesota. Devontae Chance called for the hold. Out of the shotgun, Adam Wiseman. Wiseman dropping a throw. Wiseman fires to the sideline. That is complete to the Dakota 32-yard line. Wiseman starts 2 for 2 at the for 25 yards at the Dakota 32-yard line. K. Marion makes a 23-yard catch. Ooh, nice toe drag there from K. Marion on the sideline as Folk's pass is incomplete. Marion so far this season is now 8th in the league, averaging 81 receiving yards a game, up to 2 touchdowns. Mike Churchill and Annie Beaverhausen, 1-2, your clubhouse leaders, both for Austin. This is Marion picking up 2 yards on a technical carry on 2nd down and 20 off the holding call. Minnesota is not going anywhere fast. Doug Brown with the catch in the flat, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and 17 for Minnesota. 2nd down and 8 for Chicago in a scoreless game in Sioux Falls off the Dakota interception. Williams, check that. Corey Preston on the run, picking up 3 yards. Will set up a 3rd down and 5. Third down and 5 for Chicago in scoring position. This is Wiseman, almost picked. And it really should have been picked. Los Angeles will take a timeout. They want the football back to try to get some points up before the half. I mean, that was right into the breadbasket of Suki Padre. It doesn't get any easier than that. Stone hands will result in a Chicago field goal. This is from 44 yards away. Those 40s are tough to come by. 44-yarder for Chicago to get on the board. That kick is good. And it's the Dragons off the interception with the first points of the day in that one, and 44 is off the board. 1:41 to go for Los Angeles. They're down 3-0. Ronnie Shanahan will drop back. He will fire, picking up 10 yards. 10 of 16 for 90 yards for Shanahan. That pass is caught by Scorch Henderson, his first for 10 yards. He was the recipient, or lack thereof, of the deep shot from Shanahan that was intercepted in the end zone. 1st and 10 at the 35. Shanahan fires again as a completion. This one goes for 14 yards, and Shanahan's over 100. Dakota will try again on their second offensive possession with 2:38 to go in the first. Wichita, Miami kicking off in 7 minutes. Ronnie Shanahan dropping a throw, and Shanahan just got rid of it. Completes that to the 47-yard line, but the clock will continue to run down to 2 timeouts. You're looking at Billy Flagg's highlights on the ground so far. So far this season, Flagg is 17th in the league in rushing among all rushers at 53 yards per game. That's another completion for Los Angeles. They're doing good work in this 2-minute offense. Scorch Henderson with his third catch up to 39 yards, all on this drive to the Minnesota 31, 40 seconds to go. And LA choosing to slow up just a little bit here. They don't want to give Minnesota the football back before the end of the half. This is Liam Seitz on the carry, getting 13 yards up to the 45. Finally his first positive carry of the game. Down to 32 seconds for LA, playing with a little bit of pace here. Shanahan fires over the middle. That pass is complete. Down to the 25-yard line, and LA will call a timeout with 25 seconds left. They have one remaining. Flag going to hand it off to Seitz, and not much there. 11 yards on his first 3 carries. Again, Crawford with a sack and 2 TFLs to start the day. Second and 4, 25 seconds to go for Los Angeles in the first half. This is Shanahan firing to the sideline. That is caught at the 10, and it will stop the clock. 15 of 21 for Shanahan in the first half. That's the third catch for McKay Breeze. So all the weapons getting a little bit more involved here for Los Angeles in the first half. It just has not transitioned into points as Liam Seitz gets another tough carry to set up a 3rd down and 9 for Dakota as we enter the second quarter over there.
Let's go. 50, plant.
21 seconds to go in the first half. 3-0 Minnesota. Billy Flagg on a 3rd down and 9. Clean pocket, choosing not to run here because they got a spy on him, so he dumps it off into heavy traffic. Meanwhile, Los Angeles has the completion up to the 5-yard line. Savengros on the reception. 17 seconds to go, stops the clock. Oh, I think Flagg was trying to set up a screen there, and Chicago was all over it, spy included, and Dakota's got to punt the football. This is Shanahan firing to the goal line. It is caught at the 1, 13 seconds to play. That punt from Dakota is shanked out of bounds at the 31-yard line. That's where Chicago will take over. 13 seconds to go and 1 timeout for LA. They are on the 1-yard line. 3rd down and inches. This is Shanahan, 10 seconds. Shanahan throws an interception. Allen with the takeaway, and it's brought out of the end zone to the 1-yard line, and LA comes away with nothing. I don't think Ronnie even saw Brennan Allen there. He just sunk back into coverage. And now Minnesota, fresh off the turnover. We've seen 2 in-zone interceptions by the Minnesota defense today to shut out LA in the first half, despite LA's ability to move the football. It's 3-0 Minnesota at the end of the half there. 12 seconds to go in the first quarter in Dakota. 3-0 Dragons, and they have the football. Wiseman's pass is complete to the 48-yard line for a first down. That will end the quarter. I'm just catching up on the hair discussion. Portia says he's getting wiser, don't diss it. And then later she says, I don't like it. So what is it? We need more numbers to keep the chat focused. This is it's a tough conversation. Wichita, Miami's kicking off shortly, so we'll be in the triple box. But somehow we have no touchdowns so far in the Gauntlet. What is happening? Maybe Wichita and Miami can give us some touchdowns. Wiseman's trying to get a touchdown on the board for Chicago. They're at the Dakota 35-yard line. Out of the backfield Williams picks up 6. Wiseman's off to a good start. 6 of 7 for 65 yards. 2nd down and 4 coming up for Chicago. That pass is incomplete, a little bit behind the intended target in Minnesota. Hey, DeMond's at the pool with DJ listening to the game, and I hope you're having a great day. That sounds like a lot of fun. This is what happens when we don't get numbers. I totally agree. Doug Falk fires. That pass is complete past the 40 to the 43-yard line. 3rd down and 2 for Minnesota. And it's 4th down and 4 for Chicago. This is a 46-yard field goal for the Dragons. That would put them up 6-0. 46-6. You got it. That's 2 40s off the board early as we still await our first touchdown of the day, but Chicago gives us 2 new numbers. But we still are touchdownless here on the Game Day Gauntlet, and on 4th down and 1, Minnesota has got to punt the football away. Now to the triple box. Welcome to Miami, where the Miami Pirates welcome the Wichita Flyers. A battle of 4 and 4 teams. Dragons up 6-0. Chippers up 3-0. And the Flyers and Pirates hope to provide us some more offense today. Miami's 3rd in the league in scoring at 26.9 points per game. Wichita surprisingly 12th, just 20 points a game. Billy Flagg's got a 1st down. He almost threw another pick in the upper left-hand or right-hand corner. 2 of 6 for 18 yards so far for Billy Flagg. The handoff, that is Al Ingram to the 48-yard line, picking up 13. Wichita on the return up to the 29-yard line. Chris Delro gets the start for Wichita, picking up 4. LA's about to cross midfield. That's where we'll go with our audio right now. The handoff past the 50 up to the 45-yard line. Ronnie Shanahan will fire wide open on a wheel route. That is Al Ingram up to the Minnesota 36. LA putting something together a little bit here on their opening drive of the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and inches coming up for Wichita. Their adjustments off the loss. They want to get Chris Delro more involved in the passing game. Help slow down that tenacious Miami pass rush. The handoff to Delro. He's going to be close. Dakota had to punt the football away again. This offense has done nothing. Chicago, with 9:39 to go in the first half, will have the ball at their own 32. Jason Williams averaging 6 yards a carry so far. Shanahan over the middle. That is complete to the Minnesota 22-yard line. Shanahan now 20 of 27 for 187 yards. This is Wiseman. Hit as he threw, and that ball is jarred loose. Oh, Chris Delro is dogpiled there by Dexter Murdoch. Comes over the top. Rip QB Rob Crone. Dexter Murdoch, a part of that defensive front. Miami is 6th in the league in sacks with 25. Dakota is first with a whopping 45, 13 more than any other team. Phoenix is second with 32. They will host Rochester coming up in our next kickoff on the Gauntlet. The handoff for LA is Washington's 10th. He's getting a lot of looks today. 3rd down and 9. Ayadelli on the tackle for LA at the Minnesota 21. Who's going to be our first team with a touchdown? Could it be Chicago? Chris Delro gets beyond the 50. The Dragons are beyond the 50. LA's beyond the 50. Inside the 10. That is the Aztecs down to the 2-yard line. Lars Bazar on the reception. First and goal at the 2 with 6 minutes to go in the third. Hand off to Jason Williams. He's going the wrong way. Loss of 3 yards as Dakota's defense stifles LC Provost with the tackle.
Let's go. 10 Lobo.
2nd and 13. Wichita going white jerseys, black pants. Miami black jerseys, white pants. This is Shanahan from 2 yards out. First down and goal. Shanahan looking and eventually has to fling it out of the back of the end zone. 21-29 for 206 yards for Shanahan today. 2nd and goal at the 2 of Minnesota with 5:37 to go in the third.
50, plant. I'm coming after you.
It is Shanahan dropping a throw. Almost picked. Oh my goodness, it almost happened again. 2nd and 13. For Adam Wiseman and Chicago, a clean pocket over the shoulder. What a beautiful catch to the Dakota 28-yard line. That might have been one of the best throws of the season. Upper right-hand corner if you're interested in a replay. From 2 yards out, Los Angeles scores. Touchdown, LA. Our first touchdown today on the Gauntlet, and it's scored by Victor Washington. And Los Angeles takes the lead. That is a beautiful ball from Wiseman, an 18-yard catch as Chicago continues to roll. Wichita on their opening drive has made it down to the Miami 22 with 7:58 to go in the first quarter. A good start for the Flyers offense. Play fake for Adam Wiseman. He's going to go deep. That pass is complete. Inside the 5. K. Marion down to the 1-yard line. Extra point for Los Angeles is good, and there's the 7 off the board. Wichita is in the red zone. Chicago trying to extend their lead over the defending champs. Wichita trying to score on their opening possession, and LA's got our first touchdown. This is Solberg on a 3rd down and 1. He converts. Got a first down at the 10-yard line. Let's go to Dakota where it's 1st and goal at the 1 for Chicago. The handoff to Williams. Touchdown. Dragons, they go up 12-0. And 1 is off the board. 1, 2, 3 quickly. First down at the 10 for Wichita. Chicago now leads by 2 scores. Delro out of the backfield picking up 5. Jackson in the house. Extra point is good for Chicago. 13-0 over Dakota. How about the Dragons so far today? A 7-play, 67-yard drive as Chicago continues their impressive turnaround. Minnesota down 7-3 with 5:27 to go in the third. Falk's got a pick. That's LaBrice Roland's second catch for 6 yards. 2nd down and 3 at the 3 for Wichita. Could technically pick up a first down, but odds of that are pretty slim. Solberg dropping to throw. Solberg looking for someone to get open and takes a sack back at the 10-yard line. Rip QB with the takedown. QB leads the league with 9 sacks coming into the week. He gets sack number 10 in 9 games for the Pirates this season. And this is Falk now dumping it off on 3rd and 7. It's not enough for a first down. 4th and 1 coming up. LA gets another stop. That stop from Rain Rie. as Minnesota's offense continues to sputter. Dakota's got a first down at the 41-yard line. 6:43 to go in the first half. This is Solberg from the 10. Touchdown, Wichita. Jamichael Morris on the reception, and now 10 is off the board. For BK Solberg, that is touchdown number 16 this season. That is tied for 4th in the league with Salt Lake's Jay Carter. Billy Flagg going to take off and run. Again, Chicago is to the football quickly. So Wichita is up 7-0. They take half the first quarter from Miami. LA's up 7-3. Chicago up 13-0 on Dakota. On a draw, that's Washington's 12th carry for 31 yards. Almost picked again was Billy Flagg. Rochester and Phoenix kicking off in about 10 minutes. Hey, Adeli got run over. 3rd down and 4. Screen pass to Seitz. Seitz could not get the blocks and got all kinds of turned around, and Dakota comes up empty again. Getting shut out at home by the Dragons right now. 1st and 10 for Shanahan and the Aztecs, and that one almost intercepted. So Dakota will have to punt the football away. Little fullback handoff for the Aztecs. He'll pick up 3. And Chicago gets the ball back again at the 14-yard line with 5:14 to go in the first half. Joshua Durr on the tackle for Wichita as Miami's got a first down up to the 37. Bullet Boletsky on the carry. Slowly rising up the running back leaderboards. Boletsky is now 2nd in the league at 91 yards a game, which goes to show you that sometimes it's all about perspective in life. Boletsky earlier this week questioning his offensive line. Not sure if they're just getting manhandled every week or it's a scheme problem. You're 2nd in the league in rushing yards. 91 yards a game. 728 yards this season. Put a smile on your face. Ronnie Shanahan, deep ball. That won't put a smile on Aztec offense's face. It brings up 2nd down and 10. 2:08 to go in the 3rd quarter. And that one knocked away as Minnesota's secondary tries to hang on and keep this a 1-score game. Champion, that would be statistically impossible, but I believe it on a day like this. Dakota getting blanked at home, a shocker. 2nd down and 11 for Chicago. Boletsky on another carry, gets past midfield. Shanahan over the middle. Was that caught? Yes, it was. Check that. Not Shanahan. Wiseman, the other number 12 playing right now. Over to K. Marin in the middle of the field. Upper right-hand corner. Another replay here. That is a great play. Shanahan shakes off a defender, and it's going to be 4th down and 1 for Los Angeles. Buck Wild standing out of bounds. How about K. Marion mossing the linebacker there? First down at the 42 for Chicago. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Handoff to Williams. Not much there. 3rd down and 4 coming up for Miami's offense at the Wichita 47. This is going to be a 51-yard field goal for Los Angeles. That is a low line driver, and that kick is good. 10-3 LA on top of Minnesota with 56 seconds to go in the 3rd. And on 3rd down, Miami comes up empty. Rob Crone 1 of 3 for 7 yards on the opening drive. And at the Wichita 47-yard line on 4th and 4, I think Miami's going to have to punt this away. Quad box with Rochester and Phoenix coming up in about 6 minutes. On 3rd down, shaking off a tackle. First down, Chicago. Wiseman 12 of 16 for a $161. Lloyd on the catch, and the drive for the Dragons continues. This punt is a beauty from Miami. It bounces out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Rob Noel, 11 carries, 29 yards, does not have a touchdown, but he's been a chain mover today for Minnesota.
Let's go. 60 outlaw. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we go again.
55 seconds to go, third quarter. This is Doug Falk. Great blitz pickup by Rob Noel. Falk going to try to escape the other way, but Los Angeles all over that. DJ Woods with the sack and his third tackle, and a little selly afterwards. A holding on Wichita at the 5 is going to move them back to the 2. That's on Morris, who scored the touchdown. Well, now I think it looks like Miami maybe declined the penalty. 2nd and 9 over 1st and 13. I can understand that. And Delro gets only a yard to bring up 3rd down and 8 for Wichita at the 7-yard line. Chicago is back into scoring position with 2 minutes to go at the Dakota 33. As Moody around the end on a screen as a first down for Minnesota up to the 42-yard line. Solberg now 6 of 7. That pass is complete to Dwayne Knight.
Watch right there. Not today, you want. 2.
Wiseman, 1st and 10 at the 33, and Wiseman is sacked. Brandon O'Neal, not Brooke O'Neal, with the takedown. First sack of the day for the league leaders in sacks, the 46th of the season for Dakota. Doug Falk, middle, complete. That is his son to the LA 46-yard line in the end of the third quarter in Minnesota. Chris Delro been running hard today. 6 carries, 33 yards in the first quarter. Very involved in the Wichita game plan against the Pirates.
Ready? 15 lining.
Dakota and Miami being shut out at home right now, and Minnesota also at home does not have a touchdown. Wiseman popped on 2nd and 21. The ball never got there, and Trey Deuce gets the interception for Dakota. Chris Delro off and running again at the 44-yard line, but Dakota finally has some life here as Wiseman got rocked by Menachem Pfister. Deuce able to take the football away. That's a Dakota turnover. They are one of the best at sideline interceptions. 3rd and 2 for Minnesota at the LA 37. Already 11-17 to go in the fourth quarter in that one.
Ready. 70, Indy. 6. Let's go.
The completion to the 34-yard line is complete to Michael Joseph. Deep ball for Wichita, way out of bounds. Not sure where the receiver was going there. The weather today, well, there isn't much. It's hot and it's beautiful outside, and there's not much wind in any of these ball games today as Billy Flagg drops to throw. The pass complete on the sideline. The Chicago 45, 1:08 to go in the first half to try to do something. That is a completion for Wichita to the Miami 27, R.J. Gilmore, as that ball almost bounced right into the hands of another Aztec defender. 2nd down, Minnesota. Chicago brought almost everybody, and it pays off. A little check down pass keeps Dakota inbounds on a 3rd down and 4. Doug Falk, 2nd down. Going to take off and run. Falk looking for the sideline. Got the first down on the 21-yard line. Deceptively quick. Tony Horn Jr. over the middle. Caught to the 23. For Dakota, 38 seconds and 2 timeouts left as the Rhinos look for their first points of the day. End of the first quarter in Miami. I feel like the Pirates have barely had the football. And Wichita is back in the red zone at the 20-yard line. This is Delro again, up to the 12. Minnesota now to the 7-yard line. 22 seconds left for flag. Got to get rid of it. Eventually finds a receiver open at the 16-yard line. Timeout Dakota. 1 remaining. 16 seconds to go for the Rhinos to get some points before the half. Let's see, 1st down and 10 at the 7. What was that from BK Solberg? It's like it fell out of his hands. 1st and goal at the 7 for Minnesota. That ball down to the 3-yard line. Flag incomplete. The receiver got nailed. That was Jake Riley, the intended target. We have 3 teams in the red zone right now, and then Solberg tried to set up a screen and it hit a lineman in the head. Back-to-back bizarre plays for Wichita. Folk, end zone, wide open from 3 yards out. Touchdown, Minnesota. They're an extra point away from a tie. Michael Joseph on the catch with 8:33 to play. Minnesota about to tie things up at 10, pending the extra point. Wichita on a 3rd down and 10. They are well short of the end zone. A 25-yard field goal is coming up there. They're trying to get Doug Day going in this Dakota offense, but he has been silent for a number of weeks. 20 extra point is good for Minnesota, so no new numbers there. 10-10 now, Minnesota and LA after an 11-play, 73-yard drive. This is a 33-yard field goal for Dakota. That is good. This is a 25-yard field goal for Wichita, and that is good. So 33 and 25 come off the board just before we take the numbers off the screen and get you to the 4th game of the quad box. It is Phoenix and Rochester in the lower right-hand corner. It's an orange out in Phoenix, Rochester in the white and red today, as the 4th game of 5 here on the Game Day Gauntlet gets underway. Phoenix being introduced. The Skyhawks and Pioneers off the frustrating starts this season, 3-5 and 1-7 respectively. Miami's got to get going. They've given up 2 scores on their first 2 possessions. Dakota and Chicago have hit the half. The Dragons lead 13-3. New York and St. Louis, the headliner of the day, starts in about 14 minutes. As Bovine makes a catch for a couple. Down to 8 minutes to go in the 4th. That is the game closest to finishing. Al Ingram with the carry. It's just his 2nd today for 15 yards. 3rd down and 10 coming up for LA. Ayadeli with his 5th tackle. Deep shot, Miami down the field. It's intercepted off the deflection and running back the other way with plenty of space up to the 37-yard line. Richmond with the pick. And Miami comes up empty on back-to-back drives. Sean Griffin with the interception. Check that. That's not, I got that wrong. That is Jamarcus Richmond, 5'9", off the deflection. Chicago will get the ball to start the second half, trailing 13-3, and Miami now has a punt and a pick on their first 2 possessions. You see Wiseman's numbers in the upper right, 12 of 17 for 161 yards. LA's offense comes up empty, 6:45 to go in the 4th quarter, and now Minnesota's got a chance to take the lead. A 3rd down and 10 for Rochester. Matt Wilson on a play fake. Phoenix brings the pressure. It is picked up, and that is a completion down to the 35-yard line. Dejon Wright with the catch for Rochester. Pickup of 16 yards. Solberg now 10 of 14. R.J. Gilmer, 3 catches for 59 yards for Wichita. Easy as you please near midfield. Rob Noel, 12 carries, 34 yards. And right now we are looking for the team. I believe it's Wichita, closest to scoring position around midfield. 10-10 with 6:12 to go in the fourth quarter. The handoff goes to Rob Noel. He's got a lot of space. Noel jukes and gets past the 40. A 17-yard pickup, his best run of the day. Here come the Chippers in a tie game with 6 minutes to go in the fourth. It's been a defensive slugfest in Minneapolis. Handoff Casey Mears. First down and more up to the 49-yard line. Solid opening drive for Rochester. A critical 3rd down and 10 coming up for Wichita at midfield. It's 1st and 10 for Chicago, again into Dakota territory at the 49. The handoff on a draw. Williams gets a shoulder, a brutal shoulder, into the chest. Only a gain of 1. That's O'Neal with another great stop. And Wichita again converts on 3rd and long. Timothy Shea, 2 catches for 22 yards as Wichita tries to make it 3 for 3 on possessions today. Wright's going backwards. Jason Williams around the left side near a 1st down. Now it's 3rd down and 10 for Minnesota at their own 40 with 5:32 to go in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 1 for Chicago. Can they convert? This is Wiseman on a rollout. Deep shot for Solberg is intercepted. Pass is picked off by DeLance Collins for Miami as Solberg went for the end zone, and he was just a little late. Morris was standing in the end zone way too long. And that results in a Miami turnover. Now a 3rd down and 13. And Chicago's kicking from 57. Deep shot, Rochester. The 12. A 57-yard field goal for Chicago is good. 16-3. Dragons extend their lead by 13. And 16 is a new number off the board. Since we got to the Gauntlet, the quad box, 25, 33, and 16 have been your latest called numbers. And how about that? A 57-yard field goal for Chicago.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh. 54. Come on, let's go.
This is Rob Crone up to the 36. But it's Wilson in the red zone. Evan Wood got a creative block down the field. This is Shanahan standing in his own end zone. That is deflected. Yeah, I'm keeping up with the picks now, and everybody in the first 3 games has thrown a pick. Of course, Rochester and Phoenix just getting started. A handoff and a little counter to Everidge. Already has 3 carries. 2nd down and 10 for Shanahan. Off the play action fake. There goes Henderson down the sideline. Henderson to the 44-yard line. A pickup of 38 yards. 325 yards for the Aztecs in a tie ball game. Dakota's got the football back, trailing 16-3 after the 57-yard rocket. It is a Green Bay Packers Cup. Go Pack, go. 3rd down and 8 at the 10 for Rochester in a scoreless game. This is Wilson firing it into traffic, and the receiver got crunched. As flag has a 1st down, 75 yards on 7 carries. How about Al Ingram falling forward? Ronnie Shanahan now 25 of 37. That is the 6th catch for Ingram. It'll bring up a 3rd down and inches at the Minnesota 46-yard line. 3rd down and 5 for Crone. Wichita brings the pressure. That pass is complete to the 35 of Wichita. 6 of 9 for 50 yards. That's Terrell Cooper with the 1st down in the pretty teal helmets. This is a 27-yard field goal for Rochester. That kick is good. 25, 33, 16, 27. Your numbers off the board since the quad box. 3rd down and inches for LA. The handoff is going to lose yardage, and Minnesota gets a stop. Tony Horn up to the Chicago 31-yard line with 7:28 to go in the 3rd quarter as Dakota tries to put a drive together. Boletsky on the carry. Miami dragging defenders to the 22-yard line. 39 yards on 6 carries for the Bullet. Second in the league in rushing yards.
Ready? 10 logo. Snap.
Third down and 2. Shanahan. It was actually second in inches, so on a third down and 2, LA converts. I thought it was third and inches. It's Al Ingram again out of the backfield. LA isn't doing much in the running game, but the passing game for Al Ingram has hit. Simeon on a check down. E.K. Vinson with the tackle for Rochester as Phoenix begins their opening offensive possession. 2:32 left. LA trailing 10-10 at the Minnesota 26. That pass is caught at the 25. And down to the 1-yard line. Third catch for Doc Holliday. Has Miami in business. 3 catches for 36 yards for the Doc. Just shy of the end zone. Buck Wild 4th in the league in receiving for Miami. Terrell Cooper is 14th. Holliday, the third piece of that puzzle. A 2-minute warning in Minnesota. We are tied at 10. Dakota's in the red zone, so is Miami. And Boletsky's got a 1-yard touchdown. Touchdown, Miami.
60 Pittsburgh. Let's go.
2nd and 9 at the 25. LA's knocking on the door. Play fake Shanahan. Shanahan looking and takes a sack. Tremaine in the backfield. Knocks him back to the 35. A loss of 10. The first sack of the day for Minnesota.
Hey, let's go. Get set.
The extra point is good for Miami. A 10-play, 81-yard drive. Shanahan sacked again, and LA is out of scoring position. Sights down to the 2 for Dakota. A disaster of a series for LA. It'd be a 59-yard field goal from here. One off the record. That kick from St. Louis a couple weeks ago was changed officially a 60-yard field goal from 2 yards out. Dakota can't punch it in. Lions first carry. 4:20 to go. Now LA has to punt after back-to-back sacks. Fair catch called for at the 13 for Minnesota. 1:29 to go in a tie game at 10. Oh, what a catch from Deshaun Wright. Lower right-hand corner. Look at that. Another sensational catch from the Rochester receiving corps. On 4th and goal, Dakota had to settle for a 19-yard field goal. So 19's off the board. There's a fumble in the Minnesota-LA game. Late in this one, upper left-hand corner. Oh, we're not going to get another look at it. So 2nd down and inches. It was off the reception. 1:06 to go in the 4th. As Falk steps up in the pocket, he fires wide open to the 47-yard line. Minnesota, 55 seconds and 2 timeouts. Rowland with the catch. Down to 46 seconds for Minnesota. Falk looking, sacked. Back of the 37, Jenkins with a 10-yard takedown. Jamichael Morris's 4th catch for 45 yards has Wichita down to the Miami 42 with 2:50 to go in the 4th quarter. New York and St. Louis kicking off in about 8 minutes. There's a face mask on Nuke Raiden. That'll put Chicago up to the 42-yard line. So now 31 seconds to go. Minnesota elects to call timeout. They have 1 remaining. Solberg, deep shot. That is complete. Breaking off of tackles. Gilmore gets up to the 19-yard line of Miami. And then that pass from Falk is incomplete. So now it's 3rd down and 10. Morgan needs the 40-yard line of Los Angeles. That is 23 yards away. On a 3rd down and 20 with 29 seconds to go. This is a handoff for Noel, and Minnesota forcing LA to burn that timeout. They're just going to pin the Aztecs deep. 2-minute warning in the first half for Miami, 10-7. Wichita on top by 3. This is Wiseman to the sideline. That is incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth down. So Dakota gets a field goal, and they get a stop. 2:40 to go in the third quarter. Joe Tillo's got a first down for Phoenix as that drive continues. Now on the 19-yard line, that pass is caught. Touchdown, Wichita. And they're back up by 2 scores. Gilmore with the touchdown. And the Flyers extend their lead now 16-7. Los Angeles has 19 seconds left. That's an interception from Joe Tillo. Picked off by Rochester in return up to the Phoenix 34-yard line. Johnny Washington with the pick for Rochester. Upper left-hand corner, 19 seconds to go in the fourth. Shanahan taking all day long. Gonna heave-ho deep down the field. One-on-one coverage. He caught it at the Minnesota 20-yard line. Scorch Henderson goes for 60 as LA stops the clock in field goal range with 10 seconds to go. Shanahan with the air out. And a jump ball won by Henderson. There goes Liam Sykes. Sykes from 74. Touchdown Dakota. They're right back in it. Extra point for Wichita is good. 17 is off the board. Now Los Angeles is in field goal range, and they have a chance to win it. They take a timeout. The field goal will be from 37 yards. Rhinos score. Flyers score. LA with a chance to win it. Over 400 yards of offense today in Minnesota, even though the score might not reflect it. Extra point is good for Dakota. 16-13. The Rhinos are storming back with 2:22 to go in the third quarter. This game winner from 37 yards for Los Angeles is good. What a throw from Shanahan to Scorch Henderson from 60 yards away. And the 37 is off the board. Numbers since the quad box: 25, 33, 16, 27, 19, 17, and 37. As Miami gets the return up to the 28-yard line. They got a minute 50 to go. This is now Rochester kicking a 41-yard field goal to make it 6-0 on a 4th down and 1. That kick is good, and 41 is off the board. That's your third 40 of the day, folks. One second to go. LA kicks it short. Minnesota will field it, and Minnesota will not score. Los Angeles comes from behind and wins 13-10 over the Chippers, and they improved to 5-4. They put a little bit of pressure on Austin for second place in the Great West Conference. Minnesota will fall to 3-6, down with Vegas at 2-6. And now we go to Wichita, Miami. The Pirates are the closest to scoring position at the 36-yard line.
On the ball, come on. Kill. Tap. Kill.
This is Rob Crone's pass. There is a flag. Illegal touching. Called on Terrell Cooper. I don't really understand that. Unless he ran out of bounds before. Back-to-back poor throws from Adam Wiseman, and Chicago's going to have to punt the football. So is Miami with a minute 24 to go in the fourth quarter. Let's go to Phoenix. First down and 10 at the 25. This is Tillo in trouble and sacked. A loss of 10. Palmer with the takedown. Second down and 20 for Phoenix. That offense has struggled to produce in the first quarter. For Chicago, bobbled snap, and it's blocked. Dakota picks it up from 12 yards out and scores. Touchdown, Rhinos. They take the lead. Dakota had nothing going for him in this game, until a touchdown on the previous drive, a blocked punt, return for a score. Dakota takes the lead. Second down and 20 for Phoenix. Handoff to Simeon, picks up 3. So that extra point will give us 20 to 16, 12 and 20 come off the board there. Dakota now leading Chicago with 1:34 to go in the third. 30 seconds to go in the first half. We're done. LA, Minnesota, and New York and St. Louis about to kick off in your upper left-hand corner. Wide open. That is a completion. Phoenix needed that to start the quarter. That is DR Simeon for the first down up to the 44-yard line. His first catch goes for 26. 25 seconds to go in the first half, and Solberg's way off the mark, so a third down and 10 coming up for Wichita. Yes, that return mark from the 12.
Let's go. 8, read.
Third down and 10 for Solberg. Deep shot down the field. All right, so now Wichita's got a chance to get more points before the half. 19 seconds to go in the first half in Miami. 17-7, Wichita over the Pirates. Time to kick things off in St. Louis. The big one of the day. 6-2 Rivermen host the 7-1 New York Lightning as Solberg throws a pick with 16 seconds to go, intercepted by Graham as that one floated on BK, Miami's second takeaway of the day. The Lightning 7-1 coming off that loss to Chicago. St. Louis winners of 3 in a row. Karen Koizumi being introduced to the hometown fans. Joe Tillo's pass incomplete on third down and 7. Phoenix going to have to punt it again. Second down coming up for Chicago. Miami's got the ball on their own 46-yard line just before the half. Has a completion over to Cooper. They have all 3 timeouts, so they can take one there with 10 seconds to go. 44 yards away from scoring, but Miami could get into field goal range. New York will get the ball to start the game. All white for New York, all red for St. Louis. And here we go. New York worked to improve their red zone offense. End of the third quarter in Sioux Falls. Dakota outscores Chicago 17-3 in the second quarter to take a 20-16 lead. This pass is incomplete for Miami, so 4 seconds to go. They're out of field goal range. Not much for the Pirates to do at this point. Deep shot, Chicago. That's incomplete. Wiseman now 17-26. Mears takes a pitch. Rochester leads 6-0. This ball to the sideline is complete to Doc Holliday, but Miami just one play short of scoring position as the time has expired at the end of the first half. Wiseman's throw on 3rd and 11 is incomplete, and Chicago quickly goes 3 and out. And they have to punt the football. Dakota's got the momentum right now. Third down and 1 coming up for Rochester. 9:05 to go in the first half. 6-0 Pioneers over the Skyhawks. The handoff goes to Mears. Mears. Did she get it? No. 4th and inches coming up. Third down and 4. Joe Francis's pass is caught on the sideline at the 44-yard line. First down for New York. That is Mark Anthony with his first catch, picking up 13. Doc Holliday and the Pirates ready to go here in the first half, or in the to start the second half. 17-7. Flyers up 10. Hand off to Liam Seitz. Seitz starting to get the run game going for Dakota. Now 9 carries for 107 yards because 76 of those came on one play for Liam Seitz. First down and 10, Robert Henson Jr. tried to sidestep and lost a yard. Tackle made quickly by Robert Brady Jr. The defense of St. Louis, second in the league in scoring defense at 15.9. New York is fifth at 19.9. Seitz on the carry. His 10th of the day will bring up 2nd and 9 for Dakota. 11:05 to go in the fourth quarter. The Rhinos now leading Chicago 20-16 as Chicago tries to beat the top 2 teams back-to-back weeks to improve to 5-4. Flag on a play fake, 2nd and 9, wide open on a wheel route down the sideline. That's Horn for a Dakota first down to the Chicago 38. Bullet Boletsky, open field in front of him, dragged down by his hair at the 47-yard line. Francis over the middle for New York. That pass is incomplete, and it's 4th down for the Lightning. St. Louis's defense starts the game with a stop on a 3rd down and inches. That's Simeon's 6th carry for 21 yards. He's got a first down with 7:08 to go in the first half. Billy flag on a play fake, 20-16 over Chicago. Deep shot is incomplete. Again, looking for Doug Day. Chicago has been blanketing him all day. That pass from Miami is complete up to the Wichita 37-yard line. They are the closest to scoring position. Rochester hammering Phoenix in the backfield. Loss of 2 yards. That was Simeon. On the run, Miami into Wichita territory, trailing 17-7. That is a lot of hair from Buck Wild. Never slowed him down before. 3rd and 10. Can Chicago get a stop? 20-16. 9:40 to go in the fourth quarter. This is flag. Oh, just off target by a hair. It'll be a 55-yard field goal for Horn. 2nd down and 12 for Tillo. He will check that down to Simeon. 6 of 9 for 45 yards. 3rd down and 9 coming up for Phoenix. This is Crone going deep for Miami. And Buck Wild had to play defense. Little overthrown. 3rd down and 6. We've seen plenty of in-zone interceptions today. 2nd down and 11 for St. Louis. Koizumi gonna try to drop that off into the flat and misfired. 55-yard field goal for Dakota is no good. Missed off to the left for Horn as that deep shot for Miami is swatted away from Holiday. So 4th down Pirates. It would be a 50-yard field goal as Mateus Sansbino with a tremendous catch for Phoenix to get him into Rochester territory at the 34-yard line. 5:05 to go in the first half. 3rd down, Koizumi over the middle. That pass is complete. Central Howes to the 34. First down for St. Louis, a pickup of 18 yards. A 50-yard field goal for Miami. That is good. So 50 comes off the board. Chicago into Dakota territory down to the Rhino 30-yard line. That is Byleth Thomas with the catch. And since we have hit the quad box, 25, 33, 16, 27, 19, 17, 37, 41, 12, 20, and 50 have been called. Miami's field goal makes it 17-10 Flyers. Scoreless in St. Louis, 20-16 Dakota as Chicago is now in Dakota territory at the 30. Play fake for Adam Wiseman. Wiseman's pass is complete. Down to the 14-yard line. That's where Phoenix is, at the Rochester 14-yard line on Simeon's 8th carry, trailing the Pioneers 6-0 in a low-scoring affair over there. Chicago needs a touchdown to take the lead. BK Solberg, a mixed bag today, 17 of 27, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. McCray takes the carry to the outside, and he is squashed by Polk. First down for Chicago. Upper right, 8:20 to go in the fourth. This is Wiseman dropping a throw. Wiseman looking, firing. That is caught at the 1-yard line, 1 yard short. Byleth Thomas with 8:06 to go in the fourth quarter. That is our game with the fewest amount of time remaining. The handoff goes to Delro. Delro only a yard, so it's going to be third down coming up for Wichita. Here comes Koizumi on a 3rd and 10 run. New York stops her for 8, and the Lightning will get their first stop of the game. First and goal at the 1 for Chicago to retake the lead. Handoff Williams. I don't think so. No gain on the play as St. Louis has to punt. Simeon up the gut. Down to the 5-yard line. Check that. Wells coming in to spare Simeon a play. 2-minute warning in Phoenix. They have a 2nd and 3 at the 5-yard line. Second and goal with the 1 for Chicago. Down to 7:10 to go in the fourth quarter. The handoff goes to Williams, and this time Williams punches it in. Touchdown Chicago. They retake the lead. 2nd and 3 at the 5 for Phoenix. The handoff goes to Simeon. Simeon as a first down to the 1. As Francis's pass to the near side is complete. Deep shot for Wichita again. Offensive players having to play some defense on an overthrown ball from Solberg. First and goal at the 1 for Phoenix. 1:40 to go in the first half. They struggled in the red zone last week. The handoff is short. Down to the 1-yard line. Francis with the completion. Solberg with the completion. And 23 comes off the board as Chicago takes the lead over Dakota. Now it's 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line for Phoenix. 1:18 to go. They'll hand it off again, and Simeon can't get in. He lost a yard. Rochester with an impressive goal line stand right now. First down for the New York Lightning. Joe Francis's pass complete to Mark Anthony up to the 47. 5:20 to go in the opening quarter there. Rochester looking for a goal line stand. Chris Delro continues to kill the Pioneers. 12 carries, 83 yards. Back to Phoenix. 3rd down and goal at the 2. And the handoff is short. Rochester calls the timeout. Will Phoenix attempt to go for it or settle for 3? Which they had to do so often last week. 2 yards away towards the end of the first half. I wouldn't be surprised if they did go for it. Robert Henson has a first down for New York at the St. Louis 36-yard line. Wichita is near the red zone now, and it will be a field goal from Phoenix. 19 yards out, Billy Flagg is sacked. An 11-yard loss, Eric Winter in the backfield. 19 and 3 already off the board. It's now 6-3 Rochester over the Skyhawks. This is Solberg firing it to the flat. That's going to lose 2 yards. 6 minutes to go in the third as Wichita protects a 7-point lead. A little bubble screen out to Jazz Aldmere, and Aldmere has no idea how to run with the football. A 3-yard loss. That is Slim Diaz with the tackles. 2nd and 13 coming up for New York at the 39. How about a 2nd and 21 for Dakota? Down 3. 6.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Billy Flagg is going to air it out and way overthrew his intended target. I think that was Coco. 3rd and 21 for Dakota. This pass over the middle is caught for Wichita. It would have been a 23-yard score, but it's down at the 1. That's Morris with the catch, and Wichita is 1 yard away from going back up 2 scores. 3rd down and 21 Dakota, and Flagg is sacked again. Crawford is having himself a day. 2 sacks, at least 3 TFLs. 4th and 28, and Dakota, I think, is going to have to punt. Wilson, deep shot, all alone. First down, Rochester. Down to the Phoenix 44-yard line. Timeout, Pioneers. Jazz Aldmere has New York into the red zone at the 11. Let's go to Miami. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Solberg on a handoff and tackled in the backfield. Dakota's got to punt it away. That's Dexter Murdoch with another nice play. Chicago's going to have the ball at the 48-yard line with 5:44 to go. They lead 23-20. Let's go back to St. Louis, where the Lightning are in the red zone. Rochester is approaching the red zone, trying to counter that field goal drive. K. Marion, 8 for 130 today for Chicago, and Francis is sacked by C. Strunk, a loss of 6 yards. He just bowled a strike. Chris Delro, 1-yard score, touchdown Wichita. The Flyers back up by 2 scores. Extra point pending for the Flyers would give us a 24 off the board.
On the set.
Everidge for Rochester around the side, almost scored. Picked up 25 yards on the reception. And a deep shot for New York is almost caught off the deflection. 24 is off the board as Wichita takes a 24-10 lead over Miami with 4:17 to go in the first. Look at that move from Everidge. One-on-one on the outside. Terrell Pryor, top 5 in tackles this season, makes the play. 3rd and 16 for New York. Francis to the end zone. It is well out. It hit the cameraman. It hit our cameraman on the sideline. That's going to result in a field goal for New York. It'll be from 34 yards away. 3rd down and 6 for Adam Wiseman. That pass is caught. Down to the Dakota 30 with 4.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Chicago is in business. Wilson, 6 seconds to go in the half, and it's caught for a 2-yard score. Dijon Swan with the touchdown for Rochester. How about this throw from Wilson? Put it high right at the goal line. And that field goal for New York is good. That is a 34-yard kick, so 34 is off the board for the Lightning. They lead 3-0. Chicago is trying to put this game away. Under 4 to go at the Dakota 27. They lead 23-20. The extra point for Rochester is up and good. They answer Phoenix's drive with a touchdown, a 4-play, 75-yard, 47-second drive for Rochester. They school the Skyhawks and go up 13-3. Rob Crone down 24-10 as Miami searches for answers in a battle of 4-4 teams. Lewis, I would definitely say that Rochester and New York are rivals. We've got 2 one-score games at the top of the screen, a pair of 2-score games at the bottom of the screen. Here in the final stages of the quad box, it is 4th and 1. Chicago is held up short. Rick Kuhn makes this first down saving tackle in the open field on Jason Williams. And now Chicago has a decision to make on a 4th down and 1. Up 3. Bullet on the carry. Boletsky making men miss. 76 yards on 11 carries. Joe Tillo, deep shot down the field. That's caught. Andy Sands, first down, but that is the end of the first half in Phoenix. Chicago's going to take the points. It's a 38-yard field goal for Chicago, and it's 26-20. 26 and 38 come off the board as the Dragons hold a 6-point lead. Let's go to St. Louis. 3rd down and 6 now at the 29-yard line. This is Koizumi dropping to throw. That pass is caught at the 41 for a St. Louis first down. Trying to get the offense moving. That's Junior McCray out of the backfield. And you're right, Josh. Well, no, Chicago's got 26 now. Chicago, your highest scoring team of the day. 2:11 to go in the 4th quarter. Chicago 26 and Dakota 20. As Chicago goes for back-to-back wins over teams at the top of the conference. Koizumi's pass is complete as that game nears the end of the first quarter. 3-0 New York with the advantage. Rochester up on Phoenix 13-3 at the half. Hand off to Boletsky on a draw. He's got a lot of space. Miami's down to the 22-yard line. This is Billy Flagg, top right-hand corner of your screen. His first pass of the drive is going to be a 4-yard completion up to the 32-yard line. There's a face mask on Rochester to start the second half. This is Crone going to the end zone. 22 yards out. It is caught for a touchdown. Terrell Cooper, another new number off the board. As Cooper gets loose on the Wichita secondary, and Miami once again makes it a one-score game. DJ Simeon, what a run! At the bottom of the screen is going to score 63 yards for a Phoenix touchdown. Billy Flagg's got a first down up to the 40, but that was a spectacular run from DJ Simeon. There's a booth review on Cooper's catch. That does look like a score. For DJ Simeon, that is touchdown number 4 on the season. 12th in the league in rushing yards a game at 73.6. Dakota's got a 2nd and 5 at their own 46-yard line with 3 timeouts. 1:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Extra point is good for Miami, 24-17. Extra point is good for Phoenix, 13-10. Billy Flagg dropping a throw on a 2nd down and 5. That is complete to the sideline. Swapping 46s. 1:09 to play. That's Riley's 3rd catch for 27 yards. Chicago trying to hold. New York trying to protect their shutout. 10:25 to go in the second quarter. This is Koizumi on a 3rd down and 11. Has to take a check down. Maldonado almost got to the first down. We'll see what St. Louis does with a 4th and 2 coming up. 1:09 to go for Dakota at the Chicago 46-yard line. This is Flagg, sacked by the face mask. Dragged down by the face mask. A critical penalty on the Dragons will put the football at the 38-yard line. Dakota needs a touchdown. A field goal won't cut it. They still have all 3 timeouts. St. Louis is going for it on a 4th down and 2 at the New York 40. Unblocked off the left side. The Lightning make a stop on 4th down. And Junior McCray has just 4 yards on his first 7 carries. Flagg taking off and is crushed at the 31-yard line, holding on to all 3 of those timeouts. Oh, Solberg just threw another pick, and Wilson took a sack. Miami's turning up. Micah Steiner with the interception. We got to get back to Sioux Falls. 2nd and 3, 40 seconds to go. Flagg's pass is caught at the 15-yard line. Lower left-hand corner, Steiner, what a pick as he's falling down. The 3rd interception for Solberg today. 23 seconds for Dakota. Still all 3 timeouts. That pass is complete to Seitz. Got to get down. Another flag is going to stop the clock. Chicago called for another one. That's going to put the ball at the 8-yard line with 18 seconds to go. And still all 3 timeouts for Dakota. 1st and goal at the 8 for the Rhinos. Billy Flagg over the middle, complete down to the 4 timeout. Down to the 3 rather, 13 seconds left in the 4th. 2nd and goal at the 3 for Dakota. End of the 3rd in Miami, 24-17 there. Just starting the second half in Phoenix, 13-10 Rochester, and they got the football. 2nd and goal, 13 seconds to go for Dakota. This is Flagg, that's a touchdown! Dakota comes all the way back. Tony Horn with the score with 10 seconds to go. I think Chicago sent a corner blitz from that side. I don't know if you guys saw that. Rochester's got another first down. The extra point to give Dakota the lead. Can you believe it? The defending champs may have just survived a scare from a very dangerous Chicago Dragons squad. 27-26 now your score. Still 3-0 in St. Louis. Casey Mears fumbled the football. It's picked up by Phoenix. Lower right-hand corner as Doc Holliday in Miami is back in the red zone, but did Mears actually fumble? I think that's going to be looked at. I think she's down. Bullet Boletsky takes the handoff to the 7. Final 10 seconds in Chicago. DJ Simeon, 14 carries, 97 yards in the first half. 10 seconds left. Wiseman to the sideline. That is complete to the 35. Timeout Chicago. They have 2 left still. 99 yards on 17 carries for Bullet Boletsky. Now it's 3rd down and goal at the 9. Handoff McCray, and McCray picks up 5. 9 carries, 28 yards, 6:50 to go in the first half. 5 seconds left for Chicago. They run a draw. You got to get down. You got to get down, Williams. He does not. Too much dancing. Game over in Sioux Falls. I understand you're trying to get closer for a Hail Mary attempt, but you got to know the time in that situation. And Dakota holds on for a 27-26 win as Koizumi's pass is complete to Maldonado to the New York 44. St. Louis looking for their first points of the day. 4th and goal for Miami. They're going for it at the 4. 9:16 to go in the 4th quarter. Rob Quinn wide open at the 4 for Miami. It doesn't get any easier than that. Tiberius Bovine Jr. with the easiest touchdown of his career. Wow. And we're an extra point away from being tied in Miami. And how about the Onions from Miami to go for it on 4th and goal at the 4, down 7 with 9:13 to play. The extra point is good for Miami, and we're all tied at 24. That means we're about to hit the triple box, and you're about to get your bingo numbers back up on the screen. You have 9 chances to win today. With 9:13 to go in the 4th quarter, Miami and Wichita is your closest game to conclusion. And we have 3 one-score games right now on the Gauntlet. First down for St. Louis up to the New York 33-yard line. Koizumi 7 of 9 for 75 yards. So there's your updated numbers as Koizumi going to take off and run, and she is sacked.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time it's a sack. Come on, fellas.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 13 for St. Louis. Tied at 24 in Miami. 13-10 Rochester on top, and Phoenix is on the move. Andy Sands makes another catch. 3-0 in the defensive struggle we expected in St. Louis.
Here we go. 90 Wolf. Watch the slats. Watch the slat.
2nd down and 13 for the Rivermen. Junior McCray, finally a little bit of space. Toss out to Simeon. Simeon breaks a tackle and gets out of bounds. 16 carries, 107 yards for Simeon as Phoenix looks for their first lead of the day.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
3rd down and 7 for St. Louis. It's going to be 3rd down for Wichita coming up. Karen Koizumi going to throw right at the sticks. And McCray went backwards. And they're not going to give St. Louis forward progress. So that's going to be a 47-yard field goal coming up for St. Louis. Delro on a 3rd down and 4 into the flat. That is not going to cut it as Miami gets a stop with 8 minutes to go in the 4th. DJ Simeon shaking off defenders. He is having a monster performance. Here in the late stages of the second quarter, early third, 47-yard field goal attempt for St. Louis, and for their superstar kicker, that is nothing. 2:29 to go in the first half. That might be your best kicker in the league right there, Bradley. So 47 is another number off the board. The 40s have not done too bad today. That is our fourth of the day. So 3-3 in St. Louis, 24-24 in Miami as you get a look at Rob Crone's numbers, and 13-10 in Phoenix. We saw the Los Angeles Aztecs take down the Minnesota Chippers 13-10 in a very close ball game, and then we saw Dakota come back. They were trailing 13-0, beat Chicago 27-26, and we have 3 one-score games still right here on the Gauntlet. What can New York do now with 2:29 to go in the first half? A 3-3 ball game between the top 2 teams in the Great East Conference. Boletsky up to 111 yards on 19 carries. 2nd and 12 for Joe Tillo, dropping a throw. Tillo will fire. That pass is complete, but not for much. Robert Henson looks lost. 11 of 14 for 70 yards for Joe Francis. St. Louis's defense all over him. Henson now -2 yards on 2 catches. Wow, Ray only needs a 14? Yeah, how has 14 not gotten called? Boletsky on the carry. Got a couple. 6:20 to go in the fourth quarter. The Dons got a bingo, card 43. It might be the kicker, Takeda. You're definitely going to score some points with him, and it would protect him from free agency. That's a first down for Phoenix at the Rochester 31-yard line. First down and 10 for New York, as Francis will fire, intercepted, picked off by St. Louis and returned up to the 41-yard line. Will Todd with the takeaway for St. Louis, and that'll get him into scoring position. That pass from Crone is incomplete. 4th and 8. Miami will have to punt with 5:15 to go in the ball game. Phoenix slowly working their way into scoring position. Todd stepped right in front of that pass intended for Declan James. The Don thinks he's got a bingo on card 43.
70, Indy.
Let's check it out. It's going to be as Koizumi takes off and runs up to the 22-yard line. Let's see, we got Phoenix first and goal at the 5. DR Simeon with a 22-yard catch. Wichita's got the football back despite 3 interceptions from Solberg with 5:07 to go. Beautiful throw there from Tillo. And St. Louis is on the move. Oh, the Don has the kite with a tail. Yeah, you got it. Nicely done on the 29th called number. That pass from Koizumi is incomplete. And Wichita's going backwards. All right, Phoenix is in the red zone. First and goal at the 5. 2:28 to go in the third. As this is Tillo looking for someone to get open. Eventually just takes a check down to Manu Maluna and lost 2 yards to the 5-yard line. This is McCray getting up to the 17. 1:10 to go in the first half. 3-3. Second down, goal to go for Phoenix at the 5. And that is a horrible play. A 3-yard loss. Rochester quickly in the backfield. Koizumi on a 3rd down and 6 is incomplete. So a 34-yard field goal is upcoming for St. Louis. That would put them up 6-3. Meanwhile, Wichita with 4:15 to go in the fourth quarter just got the ball up to midfield. A field goal, or any score rather, for Wichita would take the lead. Ernest has a bingo on card 26. Let's see what he's got.
Set up. 60 or.
If you think you've got the kite with tail, it's in the wrong place. Chris Delwer up to the 45. That field goal for St. Louis is good. They're now up 6-3. DR Simeon with a touchdown catch for Phoenix. And the Skyhawks have taken the lead, folks, at the 8-yard line. Or from 8 yards out, rather, wide open. And the extra point for Phoenix is good. That was an 8-yard touchdown, 17-13. Phoenix now leads a 15-play, 88-yard, 7-minute, 10-second drive. Wichita's got a first down at the Miami 38 with 2:43 to go in the fourth. I got to go back to Ernest's card. Trying to see what he thinks he has. What do you think you have, Ernest? I'm not seeing it.
50's the mic.
First and 10, 2:20 to go in the fourth. 24-24, Wichita and Miami, a pair of 4-4 teams in the Great East Conference. BK Solberg's got to find someone and finds no one except the Pirate logo and Robert Crone with the sack in the backfield. A loss of 11 yards as we hit the 2-minute warning. Matt Wilson, 11 of 15 for 191 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. A great day, but the Pioneers are trailing. It cannot. They cannot be anywhere. I said in the instructions, in parentheses, that they have to match the descriptions of the pictures exactly. We've got a timeout in St. Louis, 6-3, 2-minute warning in Miami, tied at 24. 45 seconds to go in the third, 17-13, Phoenix on top by 4.
Ready to break.
Ernest, you would need the bottom 4 and the top 4 in order to get the double squares. Third down and 11 yards to go for Wichita. R.J. Gilmer, 8 catches for 150 yards today. Correct. It says on the graphic any 2 postage stamps, but I mentioned that you have to get the spots in exactly where it is on the images. So you would need the upper left square and the bottom right square. So you're still 2 away from that. There's a timeout in the Miami game. Wichita has a chance now to kick a field goal to go up 27-24. It'd be a 48-yard field goal for Wichita to take the lead with 1:33 to go. From 48 yards away for Wichita. That kick is good. Another 40 off the board. 48 is your next number, and Wichita takes the lead. End of the third quarter in Phoenix. The Skyhawks outscore the Pioneers 14-0 in the third quarter to take a 17-13 lead. Karen Koizumi's got a first down, but St. Louis only has 1 timeout, and they're well short of field goal range. Now, what can Miami do with 1:29 seconds? They lead. They trail 27-24. Good drive summary there from Yuki in the chat. The Archangels forcing a field goal, punt, interception, and punt in the first half of New York's drives. Miami and Wichita, big game here, tied at 4-4 in the Great East Conference for 4th place after Chicago lost by a point to Dakota today to fall to 4-5. The winner would go to 4th place solely in the East at 5-4. What does Rob Crone have in the bag as we've run out of time in the first half in St. Louis? That pass to the sideline is caught for 2-yard gain, stepping out of bounds. So St. Louis leads New York in a touchdownless first half, 6-3. Henson thinks he's got a bingo on card 31. 2nd down and 8. Rob Crone going to take a deep shot. Wide open, Buck Wild to the 27 of Wichita. And Miami has an opportunity to potentially win the ball game or tie it with a field goal. The Big X is good. Robert Henson's got the bingo. Rob Crone now, a minute to go. He gets away from one. Crone is tackled at the 20-yard line. 52 seconds left. Harper Dew with his 5th tackle. 2nd down and 3 for Miami, trailing by 3. A field goal would tie it, but a touchdown would win it. 38 seconds, 2 timeouts. Crone's pass caught inside the 10. Down to the 5, down to the 4. Timeout Miami. They have 1 remaining.
Let's go.
.10:06 to go in the 4th. Phoenix has the football back. They lead Rochester 17-13. Another tight one for both of those teams. St. Louis is going to get the ball to start the second half. Neil, yes, you can get more than one on the same card. And that pass in the back of the end zone for Miami is caught. Touchdown, Doc Holliday. With 30 seconds to go, Miami takes the lead. And again, that back middle of the end zone wide open for Miami. Holliday with the 4-yard score. And a 31 could be your next new number for Miami. With 30 seconds to go, they take the lead on Wichita, and the extra point is good. 31 is off the board, and the Pirates lead by 4. Phoenix, 2nd and 6 in Rochester territory. Draw to Simeon. They're all over him that time with 8:35 to go in the 4th quarter. 30 seconds left for Wichita. They're going to have to go the length of the field, and they need a touchdown. At least they got the timeouts, but a near impossible challenge. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Phoenix. Up 17-13. Tillo got hit as he threw. The pass is caught, but well defended, pushed out of bounds. 3rd down and 2 coming up for St. Louis. Chris Andrews was the intended target to be a 52-yard field goal for Phoenix. Chris Delrose standing back there to field the kickoff, with Wichita now trailing by 4. Miami has come back. They trailed 10-0 in this game. Dakota came back, trailed 13-0 in their game. Koizumi's got 52 rushing yards and does pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. Instead of kicking a 52-yard field goal, Phoenix is going to punt. That's a little surprising with 8 minutes to go. Trailing or leading by 4, and this punt is going to stop at the 6. All right, Wichita's got 26 seconds left on their own 29-yard line. Solberg fires middle. That is complete to the 38 timeout Flyers. They got 2 left with 22 seconds. The Viper, I'm not sure what you're asking. Koizumi taking off and is hit. 22 seconds to go, 2nd and 1 Wichita. Matt Wilson on the run, gets stopped, but this is Solberg deep, caught at the Miami 38 with 17 seconds left. 1 timeout, Wichita up to 455 total yards. That was Chris Delro out of the backfield. That was a point of emphasis for the Flyers this week. 6 catches for 44 yards. 17 seconds to go. Wichita needs 38 yards. Solberg out of the empty, and that pass from Koizumi was nearly intercepted. This is Solberg, 15 seconds. Down the field, incomplete. 14 seconds left. At the 38-yard line for Wichita, down 4.
15 line.
Koizumi on a 3rd down and 13. That pass is caught on the sideline. This is Solberg, 2nd down. Pass is incomplete, way behind an actual open receiver. Now 10 seconds to go, 3rd down and 10, Wichita.
Go next. 70, Indy.
Here we go. Solberg down to 8, down to 7. Passes caught at the 20-yard line. That's the final timeout. Wichita, 5 seconds and 1 play from 20 yards out to win it. St. Louis is down to the New York 22-yard line. Joe Tillo back out there, 20 of 25 for 188 yards as Phoenix protects the lead. 6:38 to go in that one. Final play for Wichita. Solberg hit as he throws, and the pass is out of bounds. That was so smart from BK. He had to get rid of that quickly with pressure barreling down on him. Now 2 seconds left from the 20 for Wichita. Solberg to throw. Solberg cut. Touchdown! Oh my goodness! Wichita wins the game as time expires. Jamichael Morris in the corner. Game winner, Wichita. Ooh, that's close. With time expired, I don't know that we're going to get a replay. We're not going to get a replay. The field goal for St. Louis is good. Wichita is going to win the game 34-31 on a 20-yard strike from BK Solberg, and Miami falls to 4-5. Wichita 5-4. Phoenix has to punt, and the Miami faithful are stunned. We got to look at the field goal from St. Louis here, as that game continues to just be all field goals. It was a 38-yarder, but 9 is off the board. So 9 is your only new number there. What a comeback from the Flyers. They had 3 timeouts and 30 seconds left on the clock. And there's the winner right there. Very close call on the sideline. Said he had 2 feet in bounds. Wichita has 493 yards of offense in the win and lost the turnover battle 3-1 and still won on the road anyway. What a drive with 30 seconds on the clock, perfectly executed by Wichita, and the Flyers do not look like they are in a mid-season slump like last season as they pick up the win. 4:56 to go now for Rochester. They trail by 4 with 17 seconds to go. Matt Wilson dropping to throw. He'll take the check down, and Phoenix just got called, I think, for their 2nd straight flag. A block of 9 on card number 22. Yeah, in the lower left-hand corner. You got it, Grab. You got it.
Set, 8, read. Come get some. Come get some. Come on, come get some. Ready?
All right, we're headed to the double box now. As you've got your updated numbers, New York deep shot and a face mask to boot. Eden Hart with a great catch. And finally, New York has something going down the field. There's your updated numbers on the board. We've had a few bingos today. Still got time here. 4:22 to go in the 4th quarter. Rochester trailing 17-13. They need a drive. Matt Wilson almost caught. That's a touchdown, New York. How did that one fit into Eden Hart from Joe Francis? And we finally have a touchdown in today's headlining game here on the Gauntlet. Oh, Hart gets spun into the end zone. And look at that beautiful pylon cam as New York's an extra point away from tying this game up. That was a 23-yard touchdown for New York. The extra point is good, and it is 10-9. Coast to Coast starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. Colin Northrup and John Warren on the call. Austin and New Orleans gets us started, followed by Dallas Salt Lake. Me and Ramos on that call.
90 Wolf.
And an offside, false start rather, on Rochester. 3:41 to go in the fourth quarter.
Here we go. 60 Wolf.
That backs up the Pioneers to the 48-yard line of Phoenix. Matt Wilson will fire it to the 44 of Phoenix. How about this gauntlet, folks? Los Angeles gets basically a Hail Mary to get him into field goal range and win 13-10. Chicago led Dakota 16-3. They lose 27-26. There was a moment where Dakota went back-to-back, offensive touchdown, and then blocked punt return for a touchdown as Wilson off the play fake throws an absolute laser the far side of the field to the Phoenix 21-yard line. First catch of the day for Najee Anderson. Rochester now knocking on the door with 3:20 to go in the fourth. And then we have Wichita win the game, 30 seconds, 3 timeouts. They get all the way down the field, and they throw a game-winning score from 20 yards out to win the game 34-31. As St. Louis looks to respond off of New York's touchdown, they now trail 10-9.
30 base. He's turning right.
This is Wilson's pass, incomplete. 16 of 24, 242 yards. 2:56 remains in the fourth quarter. As McCray gets the carry, just 31 yards on 14 carries. It's a 3rd down and 4. Michaela Foraker on the tackle. Wilson dropping to throw. Matt Wilson all day in the pocket. Touchdown Rochester from 21 yards out. Justin Reside with the score, and Rochester takes the lead. And if you can believe it, that is the first time we've had 21 called today. 21 is off the board. Well, actually, no, I can't say that. That's my mistake. Rochester still has to make the extra point. Oh, I appreciate that, Viper. That's high praise. Actually, no, I'm totally wrong because... Oh, it was a 20. It was. I'm crazy. It's a 21-yard touchdown pass. So, yes, 21 is, in fact, on the board. We're getting a booth review here. Did Justin Reside maintain possession? There goes Junior McCray. McCray is gone. 54-yard score. Touchdown, St. Louis. Oh, did the Riverman need that one? Got away from 3 different defenders on his way to the end zone. Extra point is good for Rochester. They now lead 20-17. And for Junior McCray, that was touchdown number 4 on the season. And now St. Louis is going for 2 with 4:41 to go in the third. And that pass is knocked away and incomplete. That means that 15 comes off the board as the Rivermen now lead 15-10 over the Lightning. Twiggy thinks she has a bingo. We've had 2 confirmed so far today. 2:50 left for Phoenix. What do they have left in the tank as Rochester responds late for the 2nd straight week? St. Louis now leading New York 15-10 with 4:41 to go in the third. Card 21 for Twiggy. Yep, now you have the proper squares or the proper postage stamps in your respective corners. So there you go. And you have the kite trail as well, Twiggy. That's a double. That's a double for you. You almost have the crazy T, too.
Set, ready? 90 Wolf. 3 ball. Out. Get it.
15-10. New York near a first down, 4:35 to go. Mateus Sansbino with a brilliant catch over E.K. Vincent for 19 yards as Phoenix tries to go on a game-tying or game-winning drive. Play fake, Joe Francis dropping a throw. Joe Francis is going to be sacked. Mike Rodick with the sack. Now Phoenix down to the Rochester 40-yard line. 2 minutes to go in Arizona. St. Louis back-to-back couple of big plays. The sack from Rodick. The 54-yard touchdown for Junior McCray. 2 minutes to go in the fourth in Phoenix. Rochester leads 20-17. Tillo drops to throw. That pass is complete. Phoenix worked on their 2-minute no-huddle offense this week, so this will be a big test for them. 2nd and 3 at the 33-yard line. So far, so good for the Skyhawks. With 1:45 to go, they are in the no-huddle. That pass from Francis way off the mark. And New York's got a punt. This pass into the flat, incomplete for the Skyhawks. Now 3rd down and 3 coming up as Rochester looks for their 2nd consecutive win. St. Louis is looking for win number 4 straight. They got the football back up 15-10, 3:12 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tillo on a 3rd down and 3. That pass is caught. Broken tackle. Sands and a face mask. So now Phoenix is down. Boy, the face mask late in games today have been ridiculous. That's on Tarver. That puts Phoenix at the 11-yard line with 1:31 to go, trailing by 3 as Koizumi dumps that off over the middle. 6-pack for Porsche, card 32. Got it. That's a winner. This is Tillo from the 11. Tillo going to take off and run. Doesn't do that very often. Down to the 3-yard line with 1:20 to go. And I feel that pain, Henson. We work on a red zone offense, and now we can't get close. New York hasn't been in the red zone all day. No huddle for Phoenix. 2nd and 3 at the 3. 1:05 to go. Tillo looking. Has to throw it out of the back of the end zone. Nobody open. Now it's 4th and 1 for St. Louis on their own 49. That pass knocked away from the intended target. And I think New York's going to come up with a stop there. 3rd and 3. For the Skyhawks, this is Tillo. Short. No. Now it's 4th down and 2 coming up for Phoenix, and you got to kick the field goal. That would be from 20 yards out, but another disappointing end to a drive for Phoenix. It is becoming a real problem. Han Tayumi with the tackle just outside of the end zone. That punt from St. Louis angled out of bounds at the 10. 2:06 to go in the 3rd. The 20-yard field goal for Phoenix is good, and we're tied at 20 with 36 seconds to go in the 4th quarter there. We might have our first overtime of the day. New York down 15-10. Robert Henson just 22 yards on 6 carries on the day. That picks up 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 coming up for New York. 36 seconds left for Matt Wilson and the Pioneers. Handoff, Jupiter Jennings, and Jennings only has 19 yards on 6 carries. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Lightning. Rochester's going to return this one out of the end zone and get it to the 25 with 33 seconds to go. This is Francis to the sideline. That pass is caught, but it is 1 yard shy of the sticks. And in the 3rd quarter, I think New York's going to punt this. 4th and 1 at their own 20-yard line. Matt Wilson's been great. 17 of 25, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Wichita got a touchdown with 30 seconds to go and no timeouts. Wilson needs something magical down the field. He's got it at the 47, at least to start. Timeout Rochester. That takes 5 seconds off the clock. Check that. 8 seconds off the clock.
Got it. 54. Mike, 54.
25 seconds to go in the fourth for Rochester. Another exceptional finish coming up here in the Pioneer Skyhawk game. No matter how you slice it, Wilson to the sideline, incomplete. 21 seconds to go. Derek Akins needs the 42-yard line. 139 rushing yards for St. Louis. A lot of that coming on that 54-yard scamper from McCray. He's up to 93 yards. It's 3rd down and 4. That is the end of the third quarter in St. Louis. They're up 15-10. 2nd down and 10. 21 seconds to go for Rochester. Matt Wilson dropping a throw. Wilson deep shot down the field. Incomplete. 16 seconds left. 3rd and 4 for St. Louis. I don't know that he got the first down. He did not. 4th and inches coming up. Homer J just shy on the 5th tackle from Bridwell. 15 seconds left for Wilson. Phoenix brought some pressure. It's picked up, and that pass is caught. Dijon Swan and a face mask grab with 9 seconds to go. I don't think it would have mattered. Rochester was going to be in field goal range anyway, but it makes it a little bit easier. It'd be a 31-yard field goal for Rochester to win their 2nd consecutive game. They still have 2 timeouts on the 14-yard line, so they could change this. The handoff goes to Mears. And a timeout, Rochester. Now they'll kick it. It'd be a 29-yard field goal for the Pioneers if they make it. Francis trails 15-10, and that pass trails out of bounds. Rochester could win their 2nd consecutive game and improve to 2-7. The 29-yard field goal is good. With 1 second to go, Joe Francis has a New York first down at the 44-yard line. How about the Pioneers and the Flyers on the road today with under 40 seconds to go, going on potentially game-winning drives here. They just got to hope Phoenix does not return the kick, which seems to be one of the hardest things to do in the UFL, as Jazz Aldmere picked up that first down for New York. Ron had a potential bingo call, a triple bingo for Twiggy. Oh, that's right. She needed the 29 and just got it. Unbelievable. What a card for Twiggy today. Card 37 belongs to Ron Haynes. And no, the posted stamps are in the wrong places, Ron. You need them in the upper left and the lower right-hand corner. This is Joe Tillo. He's going to air it deep, hoping for some kind of interference or miracle. He gets neither. Rochester with the win, sending Phoenix to 3-6. The Pioneers back-to-back victories win the game 23-20. And don't look now, but the Pioneers are starting to get things together slowly in the East. New York trying not to surrender their lead of the East, but they're 3 yards short. 4th and 3 at the St. Louis 49. What are the Lightning going to do as Robert Henson comes up short? Two in a row for the Pioneers. And New York will punt the football with 9:58 to go in the fourth quarter. It's up to New York's defense now as they have to punt the football away. And for Phoenix, another disappointing result. 2 field goals and a touchdown and 3 red zone trips. Just wasn't enough. There goes Junior McCray. They have not been able to stop him in the second half. 107 yards on 19 carries for Junior. First down for St. Louis. Now Ernest thinks he has a bingo on card 26. The big X. You got it. It does say that, Ron, but I said in my post they must be exact to the picture, just above that. It could be possible, Viper. I tried to get Scott. I actually talked with Scott Hansen in the offseason. I was hoping that maybe he would come on in the NFL offseason, but he politely declined. So, you know, the guy's a busy man. All right, we are down to the final 8 minutes here on today's Gauntlet. As Karen Kaizumi picks up a first down at the 29-yard line. 7 carries, 59 yards. New York's got to get a stop. It's amazing how we can do this every week, and we get enough numbers to fill the graphic. But they're all different numbers, and they're all different games, and we end up with some bingos, and we end up with not some bingos. What are some numbers y'all need? I know Ray needs a 14 out there. Yeah, I agree, Damon. I mean, it's goal line and it's goal line pass. You know, and what the game chooses to call in goal line and goal line pass, you know, is obviously impacting the team significantly. So something we'll have to chew down on. That's another first down. This time it's Teray right, and right now St. Louis is just bleeding the New York run defense. New York is second in the league in run defense, giving up just 81.6 yards a game, and they are getting mauled today.
Let's go now. 15 line. 15 line.
First down and 10, 6:25 to go in the fourth. This is Koizumi over to right, picking up a few. 20 of 27 for 181 yards for Koizumi today, has kept a clean sheet. 6:13 to go in the fourth quarter. Second down, 6 yards to go. This is Koizumi to the sideline. That's incomplete. Portius Bacon has the six-pack and the crazy tee. And Joshua Durr got the six-pack. So we've got 4 different bingo cards today. This is a pass over the middle to the New York 42-yard line, but it's 4th and 1. Does St. Louis dare go for it? St. Louis, so far this season, is... Let's see. They are 1 of 2 on 4th down. Wow. New York. St. Louis is going to kick a 59-yarder. Bradley's made a 60 before. And it's good. Right over the crossbar. How about that from Bradley? Holy smokes. Gordon Bradley is a superstar. 59-yard field goal, and that means that 18 comes off the board, as St. Louis now leads New York 18-10. 5:11 to go in the fourth, but New York does get the half a stop. And they'll have an opportunity here to go tie it with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Here we go.
5:11 to go in the fourth. Joe Francis's numbers. Francis dropping a throw. Francis, deep shot. This is the moment for New York. And it's incomplete. Mark Anthony had it. Oh, he had it.
Set. 70, Indy.
Joe Francis dropping a throw, 2nd down and 10. That pass is complete. This time, Mark Anthony to the 42-yard line. New York not dead yet. 5 catches, 54 yards for Anthony today. And appointments for player customizations, I can confirm, will start next week. But we're going to get you guys rolling. For many of you who still are looking to customize your player's appearance, that pass is incomplete. Again, looking for Anthony. Francis is 18 of 34, 36 to go in the fourth quarter. Ron, the bingo pots do not split in the UFL. You get 1,000 points per bingo, no matter how many bingos there are. 2nd down and 10, 4:33 to go in the fourth quarter. That pass is complete for New York up to the St. Louis 47, putting together a good drive here. Aldmere 4 catches for 55 yards.
Yo, Rocky, come on. 49, check 49.
This is Francis. Again with a clean pocket. Francis against just a 3-man rush. They had a spy on him, and he doesn't get anything on that one. Maybe a half a yard. Mike Rodick with another tackle, also has a sack today, down to 4 minutes to go in the fourth.
Hurry.
Francis in the no huddle. Dropping to throw. Joe just gets rid of it, finds a receiver. The St. Louis 41, 3rd down and 4. That's Terrence Rolls' first catch for 6 yards. The Viper, we just announced that the Philadelphia Cougars are coming to the SFL next summer. Deep shot, wide open, and Aldmere got his legs taken out from underneath him. Visit simfl.net for more information about the new Philadelphia team coming to the SFL, Viper. I know you've been asking for it for years. How about that? And New York, I'm a little surprised, is going to punt. I mean, it is a one-possession game with 3:42 to go, but they have not been able to stop the run today. And, oh, the ball turns around and dies at the 2. One of the most spectacular bounces on a punt. Look at this thing. Oh, it just turned on a dime at the 1-inch line. Wow.
Ready.
18-10. Could New York potentially get a safety here with 3:33 to go? Handoff. McCray falls forward to the 5-yard line.
Go. 60 outlaw.
2nd down and 6. 193 rushing yards today for St. Louis. They'll hand it off again. McCray is stopped at the 5. New York will take timeouts under 2:40 to play. Seven and 1 Lightning, 6-2 Rivermen. The winner of this will be atop the Great East Conference. Whether that be 7-2 St. Louis or 8-1 New York, who's trying to keep pace with Dakota who escaped by the skin of their teeth today, 27-26 over Chicago. Third down and 7 for St. Louis. They're going to hand it off again to McCray, and it goes right up the middle for a first down. This is unbelievable. The St. Louis offense, 6th in the league in rushing yards per game at 119, has 203 rushing yards today. Kane Vasquez ended up with that tackle, but now New York's in trouble. Handoff McCray again. Junior McCray, timeout New York.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Bjorn McClain, 4th tackle. But New York has had no answer for this rushing attack.
Ready? 50, plant.
And New York came into the game 4th in the league in rushing yards per game, and they have not been anywhere near hitting that mark. Junior McCray, another run. Timeout, New York, with 2:05 to go. Dang, McCray. What is he up to right now?
Let's go. 60 or.
Ray Chapatulis has the UFL record this season for rushing yards in a game, 219. Handoff McCray one more time, 150 yards for McCray. That is his season high by a long shot. Michaela Foraker on the tackle. We've hit the 2-minute warning. This is the last gasp here for the Lightning. No timeouts. They got to get the football back. Handoff McCray. Not going to do it like that. McCray, first down, 165 yards on 29 carries. 414 total yards for St. Louis today, and they're going to win this game. And that means that those that won bingo today, Durr, Bacon, Clutch, Homer J, you guys are our big winners today. So 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Kneel down, and that's a wrap. St. Louis is going to hold on to win this defensive slugfest 18-10 behind one of the best rushing performances of the Rivermen maybe ever. Trying to see the rushing for St. Louis. I mean, they don't even crack the top 25 in yards a carry. That is a Joe Francis doesn't want to hear it. That is a great performance from St. Louis. Oh, Robert Henson's got one as well with the big X, so that's a 5. Shai Ronnie also has the kite tail and the postage stamps. St. Louis wins 18-10 over the New York Lightning. Cue the outro, folks. And you know what? Karen Koizumi right. The only quarterback this gauntlet with no picks. How about that? 414 yards of offense, 234 on the ground for St. Louis as New York's offense is held to just 237 yards. They improved their red zone offense, and they never got there today. St. Louis is now your leader in the East. 7-2 St. Louis, 7-2 New York. We'll see where Dallas fits into all that. Wichita is now in 4th place at 5-4. Your final stats from New York and St. Louis will be up on the website. All right, that's a wrap. We hope you all have enjoyed the Game Day Gauntlet. What a Game Day Gauntlet it was. In summary, Los Angeles gets a heroic effort from Scorch Henderson and Ronnie Shanahan late in that game to win over Minnesota 13-10 in a game that had plenty more yards than the score would indicate. Dakota comes back from 16-3 to beat Chicago 27-26. They are your league's best record at 8-1. Wichita, with 30 seconds to go, down 4, comes back from and beats Miami as time expires, 34-31 on a very close call on the sideline. Phoenix falls to Rochester as the Pioneers come back to kick a game-winning field goal in the final 35 seconds to win that game, 23-20, and then St. Louis holds on to beat New York 18-10 behind over 200 rushing yards and one of the best rushing performances of their franchise's history. Coming up tonight, Austin and New Orleans. Their records may be different, but their losing streaks are not. They've both lost 3 straight. Who's going to turn the tide and turn their season around? Followed by Dallas and Salt Lake in the second window of Coast to Coast. You'll see me again there with Ramos Lynn. San Diego and Vegas is your Monday night primetime game this week as we head to Sin City for a battle between 2 teams that feel like much better than their records are. For all of us at the UFL, I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine. We thank you for watching today's presentation of the Game Day Gauntlet. And Coast to Coast will begin in just a little over an hour. We'll see you back here on VFN. Y'all have a good night, everybody. See ya.